So we're here at the first garden in the 5-garden tour, and it's called the Jerome-Glenmore Cornerstone. So nice garden. They got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 24, almost 30 plus beds over here. It's almost 3 dozen separate little garden areas. Don't forget, pick up your poop from your dogs. And he's ready for Puerto Rican Day today. Wow, the ground is nice and soft here. They got a lot of motion stuff. Gathering to start our 5-garden tour. Hello, thank you for joining us today on the 5-garden tour in East New York, Brooklyn. If you like what you see here, please hit that like and subscribe to our channel. And this will also help other viewers to be able to find these types of videos. See you later. On record. I know. We know how that is.
On record, it's about 8.
And then it's only 2 actual, right?
And me
else.
doing all the work
That's
most
right,
of the time.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
I mean, I'm retired, so I'm here in the morning, I'm here in the afternoon, all winter. I put the sides up on this.
Nice.
Put a little heater in here, and I'll build the boxes during the winter, keep myself busy during the winter. All the boxes that are rotten, I'm inside building them. You know, just stack them.
That's how it is. Does the city give you funding? Do they help
give me
with
wood.
funding?
They give me the wood.
They give you the wood.
Yeah, to rebuild the boxes. I don't know if they're trying to get away from the wood.
And what kind of wood is that?
I know, and I don't like the
pine
aluminum.
wood, or is that
It's
cedar?
a pine.
It's a pine?
It's not treated. It's untreated
treated.
lumber.
Right,
I
because
put,
treated is bad for
I
eating.
put
right?
we painted with linseed oil.
Ah, you're hard.
Oh,
Me too.
linseed oil on the
Because,
boxes when you make the planters.
That's more sustainable. Yeah.
Don't use
No
treated
paint.
wood because
No
it's
paint.
toxic. Okay.
So
And so what do? You have to, once you have a plot that everybody could join, like anybody could come and join?
yeah, but they got to help, you know.
Right.
I only got these 12. 1, 2, 3, and across is the community.
Okay.
Because I still have another 20 or so boxes. It's like 34 altogether.
Right. And whose is that?
The house boxes, I call them.
Okay.
Because all of that goes to the market.
Okay.
So I don't charge them, but they got to help.
So
I mean, when
is
I call
that
them
market
and I
like,
tell them you got to be here and I need your help, they come.
is that a farmer's market it goes
Yes.
to? Is it a city here,
It's
come
part
get
of
free
UCC.
food?
I don't know,
Or?
you know UCC
Yes,
over there. It's on.
It's 613 new lots.
It's on the market is on Skank, which is 2 blocks this way, and then New Lots is that way between New Lots and Livonia.
It's East New York Farms.
It's called East New York Farms, and they open up the last Saturday in November, the last Saturday in June. Then they open every Saturday from there on all the way until second week of November.
Oh,
And they
okay.
sell stuff here. They take 10% at the end of the thing, or on December, and we get a check. And I use it to buy things again and stuff that we need.
Right, to replenish.
And put events, because we do the Easter egg hunt. We do a movie night, we do Halloween.
People
So we
tell
use
you
that
that
money
you
to
look
do
a lot
all-
like him. Like a younger, younger
I want you
Okay.
to finish your sentence. We might as well start,
Okay.
etc. Since we do up, we're certain on a bit of a time schedule.
Yes.
So this is Bill from New York City Parks
So
Green
we're in,
Thumb
District
Division.
37.
Hello, my
And-
friends. Hello.
And he's going to take us on this tour, I believe.
Yeah. So his gardens are a little more in Bushwick, actually. And he
Bushwick
speaks
is our
Spanish.
neighbor.
Yeah.
Greg Anderson.
Is there any
coming?
anyone
Greg is
that
not
doesn't
coming.
want me
He's
to video
probably
them?
gonna be at one of his gardens doing something.
Really?
Yeah.
good?
'Cause this
Everybody's
is open
good?
garden day,
Okay.
so everyone's like doing things.
Okay, we're gonna get going, all of us. So
Yeah.
gather round, Louis, and we're gonna get going. And as people, I'm sure, join us, then we'll try to fill them in. But thank you for being here very much. The title for today's tour is 5 Gardens, 3 Languages. I want to thank my colleague here. I think it was your idea, the language thing. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, as I mentioned, started working with Green Thumb in October and immediately saw the need for language accessibility, especially in East New York. There's a lot of Bangladeshi gardeners. One just joined Louis' garden a few weeks ago, and I speak Bengali, so I saw the need. I saw that people are interested in the space, but they don't know if they're welcome, how to get involved, and so we wanted to have this tour as a way to introduce community gardening to regular community members that might walk by every day but don't know how to get involved, don't know how to join, and also highlight the beautiful work that our current community gardeners are already doing to make the neighborhood more beautiful and welcoming. As I mentioned, there are lots of both Bangladeshi, Caribbean, Hispanic, multiple different cultures celebrated in this garden in particular, but also all of them. And so you'll see different vegetables growing from different places. You can maybe tell us more about that. And also just, I think it's really important to highlight the history of community gardening, especially in this neighborhood. A neighborhood that really went through a lot of
Yeah. So,
neglect, redlining.
yeah. Where are we? We're in East New York, you know that, but it happens to also be one of the largest collections of gardens in the city. We're sort of neck and neck, so to speak, with our friends at Bedford-Stuyvesant, and also with East New York, the East Village of Manhattan. So why? And what is Green Thumb about? You know, I think most parks go through a lot of planning, right? Where they're situated, etc. And there may be not enough parks in some areas, but there's something everywhere. Why, if you looked at a map of Green Thumb Gardens, does it seem like it's helter-skelter? That's my word. All over the place. You could almost say chaos. What's going on? Why so many in East New York? Why so many in the East Village? Well, it's all about the history. I don't want to bore you all. It's not boring, but I don't want to lay us down with history too much because we're here today to celebrate these gardens. But knowing history is important. And knowing that history gives you a sense of why Green Thumb operates the way it does. So we've got some amazing pictures that we're going to show you at every garden that we go to today of what these spaces looked like in the 1940s. I guess back then, that's how tax assessments were made. They took a picture of your lot, and then I'm going to show you some of the pictures that we have of what happened in the 80s. And I can tell you that I call this the Green Mile. I love the Green Mile because there's a beautiful garden called TLC Sculptural Park, about a half-mile down there. If you go a mile to the final garden where we're going to be today at Green Gems, it's about a mile. And there are like 8 fairly large gardens along the way, some little tiny ones too. And think about the fact that in the 1980s, every one of these spaces was derelict. And in fact, while it's wonderful that there are almost 60 gardens in East New York, back then that was 60 derelict spaces. and you know what? There probably were more.
As a kid, I was running through all of them.
So how far
What
we've
were you
come?
running through?
How far we've come?
All these empty
So
abandoned
yeah,
buildings,
so
to play
this
tag
this
in them
this
and
is
everything.
this I'm passing around now some of the pictures of Jerome Cornerstone and if you turn it around, you'll see what it looked like in 1980. It's really kind of sad, but that's the history, all right. And you can go into the issues of why that is called redlining. It's called the map of all the gardens citywide is a map of the economic devastation of the 80s. That's what it's about. Very few new green thumb gardens are being, there are some, but very few. Most of the gardens, and there's about over 500 gardens in the city. Some 350 or something like that are owned by the Parks Department. Here in East New York, the vast majority of gardens are owned by the Parks Department. Since we do have a garden from Bed-Stuy, is that pretty much the case?
So can I just interject here? This concept here is based on, I have a page called Before There Were Gardens. I work with Green Thumb. Bill knows me very well. And so I'm glad to see they've adopted the policy of what the gardens used to look like before they were gardens. This is what existed before.
Yeah.
So the movement is built on all of this. So, you know, I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
So what happened then? So all of these. So if you went up and down Glenmore, you saw a lot of it. Gentleman Louis, who I'm going to introduce soon, was very much part of this community back then.
This is amazing.
What happened was that it's people that not the city that began to turn these spaces into something useful, like growing, etc. And you know the pace of that depended upon where you were. So there are gardens that started earlier in the 70s. A lot of them in the East New York, actually early 90s. This space, when I got here in 2017, was vacant. There was nothing here at all. There was no fencing. It had been a garden, but it had fallen under bad times, hard times, I should say. Now, the fact that people are what made the city wake up and do something about these spaces, and eventually in 1978, putting them all under the Parks Department's agency and control and management, it was people that did that. And so as a result, we have a unique way of managing these spaces. They are not managed by me, Mihira, or by Oliver. They are managed by this gentleman over here and anybody that is a garden leader. And we depend on them for this is a little bit of a personal opinion too much. But that is the way it goes in New York right now with funding. So we depend on them to really manage day to day. So we spend a lot of time with the groups, helping the groups manage these spaces, because every one of these is sort of like a mini organization, or they should be. And that's a great way to segue to Louis here, who is a garden leader, because every garden that you go to, its look and its feel, it's all about the ability of the people in it to organize themselves and make things happen. And as you look around, I think you can get a good sense that this is a garden that really takes it seriously. Our hats are off to Louis. And so Louis, I wonder if you would tell us a little bit about what you're growing here, how many members, and if someone were interested in joining and helping at this garden, what should they do?
Will you
Get their hands
reconsider letting
dirty.
me video you so that we can get the word out, or you still don't want to be videoed? It's for the good of the good of the garden to get the people out here. Okay, are we
They
okay?
have to come and help.
Okay.
And you know, get their hands dirty, and I don't charge. Some of them do have dues. There's no dues in my garden, but you gotta help me. That's all I ask, because we make enough money from the stuff that we send to the farmers market to get the stuff that we need and everything like that. Really, I'm decorated for the event coming right next week is the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So I removed all the other international flags off and flooded it with the Puerto Rican flags.
You're gonna replace them.
And then I put them back afterwards.
All
Then
right.
when you come back, before the end of the month, you'll see a whole lot of U.S. flags because the 4th of July is coming up. So I take care of the, whatever the event or
What are some of the nationalities the members?
we have South American, we have regular American black, Puerto Rican, Bengali, Bangladesh it is, they speak Bengali, Dominican, from the Dominican Republic, and that might be it. But we have about 8 members. Like I said, those first 12 boxes, 1, 2, 3, and across, all
So
the community boxes.
How does it work? Do the members share a box?
No,
Each person
of them
gets
got
their own
box. Each of them have a box.
Okay,
Some
so
have
there's
2 if
only
they've been
4
here
boxes
longer.
left. If
Huh?
someone wants to join, there's only 4 boxes where they could have their own box left, right?
Right. Right now, those 4 boxes I took over because there's nobody here that wants to help.
Got you.
I have to call you back. That's Teresa.
What do you think? What are the what are the good things about this garden? Why do you spend so much time and your energy here?
I'm retired. That's one thing, so it keeps me busy.
Because you love gardening and you love the space.
And I love to do it. I
Yes.
love the space. I come and I'm here almost every day, and even in the winter, working in the winter,
That's right.
building the boxes in here. I'll put the sides up, little heater. It's 25 out there. It's 50 in here, and I can work. And I build the boxes so they're ready to put in the ones that rotted out and stuff like that. So
And
keeps me busy.
What are some of the vegetables that you grow?
It's a lot. Maybe we should walk around. And point them out.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
To rattle them off, I can't rattle them off.
Yeah, no idea. Why don't we go down and go down and around?
And community boxes are the ones that go to the farmers market.
Everything that way.
Okay.
From that trellis that way.
What is this here?
It's a cabbage.
Cabbage?
That's yes, that's cabbage, kale, scallions, tomato on the end over there.
And that's a callaloo. Indian guy in this callaloo.
Well, those are the hot cherry peppers. This is my bitter melon, which I got to put a trellis here,
Yeah.
and then so it can come up.
Gee, one of mine died. About 2 and 1 died.
Bitter
They've been
melon.
dying. I've been replacing them like
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Something's
crazy.
happening with them.
I know.
I don't know. It's because the summer coming late.
But you actually only need one because they get really big. You try
When you
to
see the house boxes, you'll see that mostly one item in the box. So summer squash. So this is the house box that nobody wanted to get, so I took it. Right? So you're not gonna help me. You're not getting the box.
So what Louis is talking about with these boxes is East New York has another wonderful gift, and that is it's called East New York Farms, and starting at the end of this month, a weekly farmers market is held, and they have something called a share table. The share table, a garden like this or any garden, can bring their produce to that market. It's sold, and then a portion of it goes back to the garden at the end of the year. So it's a way for gardens that really take it seriously, and they do here, to raise significant sums of money, because Green Thumb definitely does not provide everything that's needed to make a garden operates really smoothly. So you made how much here last year? $2,000.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's really, yeah. So anyway, so the share table concept is kind of unique to East New York. I'm not familiar with any other organization that does it. There probably is, and I just don't know it.
It's the model here.
But it's the model
Yeah.
here. But know that gardens can, if Louis wanted to, he could do a market right out. You just invite people in and sell it. Probably it works well to
It works
focus.
better for me to let them sell it.
And also,
That's right.
it also works better for the
Takes the pressure
community.
off of you. Yeah.
Sure,
Because-
and they're only taking 10%, so
Yeah.
it works out.
Oh, they
So-
do take
Yeah,
that.
that's it, just 10%.
Yeah, so that essentially means that the community at large benefits, right? Benefits from having fresh produce.
See, now all the box there that they didn't want, it's full of Swiss chard. I try to keep everything in one spot, it's easier for me to harvest it.
Swiss
Instead
chard.
of like with the community, you're going over there because she got a tomato, he got a tomato, and they're running around.
And it looks better when it comes out.
Salt basil with the big leaf spinach and more bitter melon.
I love this. So this is what's this again? This is
It's spinach, the big leaf spinach.
Guyanese spinach.
Is it? That's what they call
Yeah.
it? This is my sage box. I got
Guyanese spinach.
3 different types of
have
sage
it,
here. I got the long
I'm-
leaf
My
sage,
trellis, I
the
put
wide leaf,
I'm
and then I
learning.
think
I
that's
put my trellis a different way.
lemon sage over
But
there,
this
the
is
one with
good, I
different
love
colors.
See how ingenuity here.
What is
Oh,
this one?
sage. Oh my God, a whole bed of sage.
The whole
This
bed of
is
sage.
good luck. We have this
Very
in every
wise.
bed.
Because my
Keeps your
one
plants
box, I only
healthy.
keep it in the small
Oh my
box, the
goodness.
mint, because it goes all over the place. So I have a separate
You have to.
separate box for the mint over there.
Can everyone do what I
So
just
mint
did? Which I
is very
shouldn't do?
invasive.
Take it,
No,
So
it's
it's
fine. They
mint.
grow more.
and
The mint.
Yeah, they grow more.
keep
I
your
love
breath
sage.
fresh.
I have them all
Yes.
over. I love this variegated
These are
sage. I
Cherry
love
tomatoes.
This. Beautiful.
Try to keep just that because they get really big. So that's it. I'm not putting anything. Nothing else is going in. I don't fill up the boxes. This is just strictly cherry tomatoes here. Garlic. Garlic has to be planted in October, November. So that's when I put it in. October, November, and I got a whole box of garlic over there.
I see you harvested your scapes. Well, this
Behind-
here you got some here.
Behind me is the rosemary with cucumbers on the trellis.
If you liked and subscribed to this channel, thank you so much. Please feel free to put a comment down below. If you have more gardens that we should cover or other neighborhoods that we should cover, I do read the comments and I will respond. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Scallion box.
I know you love your garlic.
I got 3
boxes
bags in
of
my
scallions.
backyard alone.
How did I know that?
With
I
bitter
don't
melon
know.
again.
You're a magic woman.
You might
Bitter
ask.
melon.
You might ask, how do gardens get water? They get
Yeah.
water courtesy for no cost, courtesy of Green Thumb and an alliance with the Department of Environmental Protection, hydrants. Hydrants are great when they're like really close by. It's a real challenge when they're 100 feet down or across the street.
Like mine's across the street.
That, and so you might ask, well then, you know, get an internal water system. Well
It's a
that
lot of money.
we're talking about. I'm gonna benchmark it. Sometimes it's more, sometimes less. $500,000 for an installation, and it takes several years. I can't get in. Why does it take
Yeah,
several
well,
years?
I don't
That's
get
a
why it
whole other-
costs
Can you
half a
talk
million
little bit
dollars.
because,
It's
you know,
another story.
We
Oh my
actually,
goodness.
I will say we do have our.
we got water, and yes, some gardeners didn't, and we were told that they were going to, and we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
My peach tree is about 3 years old.
Oh, wow, 3 years.
Peach tree.
One of our
Oh.
You have
colleagues
peach trees,
came
right?
we do.
Should
In every
should he
garden.
take off some of these?
You could start pruning the little ones.
The little
So,
ones, take
yeah,
them
because
off.
it
Just
takes,
pop them off or
yes.
cut the whole branch.
No, just take the fruit
Okay.
off. Like just prune
A lot of them
some
are
by
falling.
hand.
They're all over the floor.
Yeah,
They're falling
because
on their
when you
own
do that, it allows the bigger peach to
get more
yes.
nourishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard for us to do it, but it really works.
So
And-
Grapevine.
would you say about half of them?
Yes, and
So,
that will
there you go.
encourage the small ones.
Yes,
And
I
the,
see
the
them.
bigger ones, the energy will go in the bigger. So this is your grapevine here.
Grapevine
Wow,
here.
who made this trellis? You did?
Yes.
Beautiful. Wow. So I want this guy to creep
Hey,
up.
Louie,
This is
go under there and let me get a nice shot of you.
Yeah, Louis, listen, you're famous. We want
I
to
don't
love
wanna
upon you,
I don't want to
okay?
be famous.
You are, it's too late.
Nice, Louis.
Very nice.
Thanks for doing this.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes.
Yes, Puerto Rica. Yeah. Oh man, look at this cabbage. I can't grow cabbage for my life.
My
It's
my-
goodness.
amazing.
You guys are motivating me
That's,
just to put more beds in my garden somewhere on top of
I
my
got these
concrete.
nylon.
So, I mean-
I got these nylon rods that I put there. Then I put the net over it. And then when I looked at it, I said, "Man, that looks familiar." And it looks like the chuck wagon. So I went and bought the wheels on
yeah,
Amazon.
that's cool.
And I put the wheels on it to make it look like a chuck wagon.
Now, why did you put that over there?
This is the black stuff.
The
It needs
black
shade.
stuff?
It needs
To add
shade.
shade,
for-
okay.
For the
Good
Dominican
idea.
oregano.
And why did you put the mesh?
I
Does
wanted to
that
make the
serve
chuck
something, or just to make it okay, to make it look pretty and different?
Oh, they're using it? Okay.
Cabbage and more buttermilk. I gotta finish putting the trellis up there.
All right,
Are you okay with being in a video?
Need to make
Okay.
need to make an announcement. We have a couple of Spanish language folks here.
They were also saying they could do one-on-one if they.
Yeah.
And if
so
someone
you
wants
wanna
to
do- if you
translate
wanna
in
try
Spanish,
it.
there are people who watch it, so.
Yeah. So we do have, and we have a I think we have a Bengali language. So just be aware that if you speak, the translators, thank you, will translate. So that means don't talk real fast for their benefit. And we also are unfortunately on a time frame. So in the next 5 minutes, we need to sort of. So let's continue.
A little bit closer.
I got lemongrass with cabbage, bok choy, and then all these little. That's lemongrass coming up. Those are big ones, but
got
little
like
patches.
the
I got.
forest, the
This is
forest,
all lemongrass. These little patches that are coming up there.
But your cabbage is amazing. You know, I mean,
That's
the
the red
leaves are
cabbage.
stunning. They haven't curled up yet. They're coming. But you know, the
These are
leaves are edible.
the cherry hot peppers,
You know that?
and then cucumbers on the trellis. On the other side, I got more hot peppers, jalapenos and habaneros, and that's thyme.
You got the baby plants, the
Nah,
cabbage.
this I cheat. I went to the
What is this, Louis?
to the market. This is
Cabbage.
the white cabbage, and this here is
Cilantro,
culantro.
yeah. What do they call it in America? I forgot.
I know the islanders call it shadow benny,
Yes.
Shadow
right,
Benny.
Yeah.
but ahí es el culantro,
Seen, this variety there.
and this is the steak potato. I got some more here, but they haven't come up. I'm patient. They'll come.
Potatoes?
No, more of the.
Oh,
These are big leaf. I found some seeds for big leaf. Shadow benny.
Man, your cabbages are outstanding. Because, you know, we have insects that eat up our leaves.
More tomatoes. These are the steak tomatoes. This year I planted a little bit more tomatoes because they were talking on TV that they're going to be expensive. So I figured people are going to go to the market.
Get ahead of the game.
Yeah, I get ahead of the game. That's parsley back there. They're growing. Some of it's growing. Some of it's. I got them in 3 stages there. Collard green box. 4 eggplants over there. The 4 bitter melon.
Color green.
They were sitting in the sheds and I didn't know what they were. And as soon as I found out, it went up.
A couple of months that will be.
Yes, so
Down here we got cayenne pepper with more bitter melon. More steak tomatoes. Esto, tell them that the bitter melon parece como un pepino, se dice. Parece un pepino, pero está de ello, es bien agrio, pero supuestamente es bueno para la diabetes o algo así. That's more steak tomatoes there, more bitter melon. Put bitter melon
How do you
because
prepare your
bitter melon.
It's very good medicine.
But it's the money maker at the moment.
Really, yeah.
If you go to in the supermarket is $6 a pound, and they sell it for $3 at the market. So this year I doubled my.
Is this the green or the white? These are the green ones.
These are the green ones.
Yeah.
I've been trying to
How
get
do
the
you
big ones.
prepare
They didn't
them?
grow.
How you prepare your
These
bitters? Are
that
you
one there was
cooking?
upstairs. A couple of them are upstairs, but they're not hanging out too low. Look,
They're gonna come out.
they're not making it too much. The ones that I did at home, the other ones I had to buy.
They'll come. Let's take this off.
This is one of my Bengali boxes here, or
What's all this?
the ones I know is Bengali, or I don't know what's in there.
This is
This is something like a cilantro.
This is amaranth. Amaranth.
That's what it is?
Kalaloo.
Yeah.
Guyanese kalaloo.
She got in there, and then there's some getting ready to come up there.
And this is cocoa. We call, I forgot the way you call it, Edos. This is Edos, Louis?
I have no idea what she put
Yeah.
there.
A very typical plant that our Bengali gardeners.
Edos, really?
She already harvested one over there. That thing was like this, full. She already got it all out of these two, and then she's doing it again.
One of the hours?
No,
Trinidad?
no, the ones here, they speak Bengali, they Bangladesh or
okay,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
Bangladesh,
The-
yeah, they're very
that box,
gifted
this box,
gardeners.
and this box, yeah. And then it's cilantro.
An idea. Are you
I
here?
got cilantro here, here, and here. These are the boxes.
You gotta come in. The garden, the sign is at the corner of
Pamela Petticoat?
you see a lot of people in the
And this is the real boss right there. Look, Jenny. That's the boss. I take care of the garden, but she's on all the paperwork.
Yeah, I took the sumo and came here. Hold on a second, hold on.
For joining
I
us.
want to make sure you sign up. Are you familiar with Green Thumb?
Bill Cage. Yes. I am.
Hi, how are you?
I'm at the East New York Gardens portfolio.
Yes, you got a tote?
Are you good with being on video?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Are you
Sir, are you
Green
good
Thumb,
with-
my friend? Yes. All right. So
Are you
we're
good with
gonna-
being on the video? Sir?
I
Are
thought
you
we want to
good?
get some order here. One of the things that I love, I know is there's one mic. So please, if you really want to talk to your friend, walk away, because I want everyone to be heard. Yeah, we've got languages going on here, and we've got really important things that we want to get across to you. So we're about to embark on the next garden, and I want to real quick, because we have a few new members. My name is Bill.
Hi, my name is Mahira.
The three of us are coordinators, and what we really do is help the gardeners manage these beautiful spaces. We have just gone through the first one, Jerome-Glenmore Cornerstone. Get it? That's how they organized it.
Nice.
This garden, just as a reminder, was nothing 8 years ago. Nothing was here. And through working with the community, Green Thumb was able to bring this with them, absolutely with them, into what it is today. And for those of you that just went through this tour, you can see what an incredible asset this community garden and every community garden can be to their community. So we're about to, there's going to be a lot of time for questions, by the way. I don't want it to all be about us talking.
Excellent.
This one's really cool, Louis. I want to actually highlight it to you because if you go, you can get, if anyone's interested in getting an apple tree, it is in the Bronx, but once you attend the training, you actually can get an apple tree at the end. So just letting you know, next Saturday.
Let's get our apple tree.
Yeah, I'm going to have them in the totes. Oh, sorry. I'll give this tote to you then. So please feel free to take a tote. It has some snacks, water.
Here you go.
Yeah. And then also, this you can have it.
Thank you.
Wait,
The other side.
this one's
Wow.
Here.
Are these photos
how
from
we
like
look?
No,
public
this is the same. This is
imaging
the same
sorry.
or
We're wrapping up here.
Is it the, This one?
We'll be on our way. Thank
That's the one.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
And this is the front.
That's the garden right there.
Are these photos
So these are
from-
from the New York City tax records.
Okay.
I know your friend
Wow.
does a lot with the Before Her Gardens page.
Ina? Right.
Yeah. And so she highlights the before space. Hello. Oh, yay. Yeah.
Oh, we got some more people
and so
joining.
in the 1940s and the 1980s, in the 1940s and the 1980s, the city took a picture of each block and lot. That's how they assessed their real estate. So each block and lot. And so there's technically supposed to be a picture of every building. A lot of them weren't photographed, but this is accessible by anyone on the New York City Tax Records website. It's easiest to do it using the block and lot number, but it's kind of hard to find
Yeah.
that.
And I want to move things along.
Oh, yes.
So welcome.
Hi, I'm Annette Fisher. I'm back again, real estate broker, owner over at BRESRE Realty, Inc., and I'm here in the neighborhood of Brooklyn, East New York, Brooklyn, and I make these videos so that you can get an idea of what's going on in the different neighborhoods, as well as other videos on this channel for homeowners or buyers to learn more about real estate and how to negotiate deals and what happens and how the market's doing, etc. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And if you like this video, like it so that other people could find it. Thank you. See you soon.
Sure. We're going to cross the street with quotes. And we'll walk into Ashford. Google says 1 minute. We'll see. Cool.
It's okay.
Nice to meet you, Pastor.
Take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good one.
All right.
Hello.
What's going on
You
here
taking
today?
my picture?
I am. Is it okay?
You asked
All
after the
right,
fact?
or
It's
I'll
okay.
remove it
It's
if
okay.
you
It's
want
okay.
it.
It's okay. It's okay.
What are you
This
doing?
this is a community event that we're having, where we're inviting the community to come in, and we share with them some stuff that we have, and we share with them the love of Jesus also.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Community out helping community.
Yeah.
God bless.
Bless you.
Thank you. Oh no.
When I came in 2017, there were 2 HPD gardens. Both of them now are in the process of having apartment buildings constructed on the lots. In fact, the 2 gardens we're about to go to were also HPD owned, and they turned them over to us. So we did retain some of those gardens, but most of them are either now have housing on them, or we're sort of like this one, waiting for something to happen. Okay.
Yeah, that's also like a good
So
example.
this is actually a garden?
No, it's not. It's an empty lot. So
It's
that's
just an empty
example
lot.
that
Okay.
what happens to land that isn't stewarded,
Right.
isn't in use. Again, it's owned by HPD, Housing Preservation and Development, and so they do have the ability to build on it. They just haven't. Yeah. Yeah.
So they won't lend it to you all just for the summers
No,
until
no. So that this is just like another neglected space.
5 years.
Yeah.
Then 5 years. Y'all could have had many rows of corn at it.
Yeah, of course. And that's why we do try to partner with as many community gardens as we can. Because working with Green Thumb, of course there are some challenges that some community members might face in terms of like just meeting our requirements. We ask that you hold some open hours during the week, that you have 2 free public events a year, which can be a barrier for some folks, but it really gives them that legal protection for longevity overall. Also, this gardener lives right there, and she grows in these rain beds. Very interesting.
That looks like corn.
Yeah. Okay. And we're making our way down Ashford.
So this is private property here?
Yes, this one to the right is private property.
What's the one across the street?
That is a
Is
garden.
that where we're going?
No. We're gonna go buy it.
Okay. They didn't want us in their garden today.
So here's a wonderful example of a hydrant and working right now.
I just got one of those caps.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
That was just one garden. Here we go. Number 2 out of 5. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you good with being on video?
Pardon me?
Are you good with being on the video?
Sure.
Okay. You want to
Loves it.
publicize? Okay.
Oh, you know I make the
Remember
cake
you from the
Oh,
last
really?
tour last year.
from the
Banana
tour.
bread.
Oh, from the farmers
Come on
market.
in, come on in.
No, it was at a garden. The gardener was on the tour and you were a vendor.
Really?
The last
Oh,
time,
a couple of summers ago,
Yeah.
out there. I remember.
So are we ready? Are we all together now? One voice. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Ashford Abundant. As I was mentioning on the way here, this garden at one time was owned by HPD and was turned over and developed really like 2016, I think. So, and this is the amazing, I'm going to start with Laita, who is the garden leader, who we're going to give her a chance, obviously, to talk about the garden. But Laita, look at what used to be here. A beautiful home. That's the theme that you're going to hear constantly. These gardens at one time in the 1940s were homes. If you turn that over, Laita, that's what it looked like in the 1980s.
Yes, because this was a lot with garbage in it.
Yeah.
This is what I know about.
Yeah.
This was such a beautiful home.
Right? I'm going to pass it around now. As you, again, it's like, it's just the unique history of Green Thumb Gardens. But the wonderful end of the story is that we now have a beautiful space. So
Thank you.
what I'd like to do now is actually ask Laita here a little bit about what's growing in the garden, membership, and anything you want to talk about.
Okay. My name is Laita Herb, and I'm an herbalist. So I like to grow herbs that help heal the body. And I know a lot of people know about witch hazel. You know about witch hazel? And use it for their shavings. But I know that witch hazel is very good for pain. Takes away pain. It's an analgesic. That's my witch hazel tree right there. Yes, it is. And I boil it. I use it in vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and I make astringents with it for pain. And
Just the water, you boil it and just the water.
I said apple cider vinegar.
Oh, apple cider vinegar and the water.
No, I said apple cider vinegar.
Oh, okay.
So you boil the leaves and...
Yes, I boil many herbs inside. Oh, you're tasting them strawberries. How's that tasting? Not good? Don't be eating no more of my strawberries.
Rule
It
of
was very
thumb.
good when I ate one just
Rule
now.
rule of thumb. Ask before you taste.
It's a secret. It's delicious.
You don't want anyone else to
Over here. Oh, right next to you, behind you, right there is the mullein.
Yes.
You know, everybody's
Yeah.
always talking about
Yeah,
mullein for their
yeah.
respiratory system. Those small shoots here, they're so soft and fuzzy. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you, ma'am. She showed her the. That's the mullein. Before you leave, if you'll need any herbs to take home, I will let you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Over here is my. I've been injured so many times.
Just translate.
This is Comfrey. Comfrey is a bone knitter. Yes, Comfrey helped knit my bones back together, my cartilages, and everything. I've had a lot of.
So what do you do with it?
I
Again, in the apple cider vinegar? Or?
yes, I would pound these out. I use a lot of things in apple cider vinegar, and because apple cider vinegar is an old remedy. Do you remember that? You don't
My
remember
mother
that?
told me that.
Listen.
And I'm 66 almost.
But they said it weakens your bone also.
And I didn't say never say drink it. I never once said put it in your mouth. I didn't never say that.
Okay, so don't take the liquid.
To bathe in it, to sop your body with it. You
Okay, you put it on the outside. Don't drink it. Okay.
Well, apple cider vinegar is not acidic like white vinegar.
Okay.
White vinegar, if you continue to drink it, you're going to become more acidic. But the brown vinegar, it's actually alkaline. The alkaline's when it goes into your body. So you can take it by a teaspoon or a tablespoon, mix it with honey. It can be used internally, but right now I'm talking about external use.
Right. So all of this is information for information purposes. Check with your doctor if you want to take any particular remedies, etc., that she's discussing. They're not medical advice.
It comes natural.
Yes.
You didn't plant it, right?
No. But it's low lying.
Yeah, this is the first time it ever grew up this tall like that. This is, these are, yes, these walking Egyptians. So I'm going to cut the top of these off, plant them, and we're going to have some fresh scallions, right? This is tough like a cardboard. But at the top, we're going to plant it. We're going to cut these off and plant the top. So we're going to have fresh.
Can I have one? I'll take
Sure
it
you
first.
can.
Can I have one?
Laita, do you use the chair table at farms?
That's the one you want?
I used to have this all over my back.
What did you say this is?
Egyptian onion, walking onion.
Egyptian onion.
It have feet that
Oh, sure, when I get my,
we could just put this in the drawer like that.
yes ma'am. It's gonna be very happy.
Yes.
Thank you. They need to get the hoses out of the way.
Right, potatoes, sweet potatoes. My strawberries the man was picking off. Yes, I'm trying to make sure I have potatoes this year for the winter. This is a strawberry bed.
There's a big green
Compost in
strawberry.
it. That's why they're so big, right?
Yes, I put all kind of love in it, yes.
You see,
So if there's a
like
strawberry
in the
that
store,
you
they're
can
bigger
pop off, you can if you like.
So if we take a strawberry, one of these strawberries and plant it, it'll grow?
No, you have to take the
Seeds
runner.
on the outside of the strawberry.
Take the runner. Take the plant, your plant. You have to
And put it in water, maybe, and root it
put it in the soil, right?
right in the
Yeah,
soil
put it right in.
directly.
And then they put our feeders in it. One could give you a whole box.
Yeah, the inside of that round thing right
It's a
there.
spreading perennial. It's amazing. You can't kill a strawberry plant. Really? You cannot kill it. Even if you throw out water. They're very hard. I love this variegated sage. Yeah. And she planted it with garlic. So this is really a
Strawberries are perennial?
perennial.
Strawberries are perennial? Of course. I didn't know that.
What's a perennial? What's this?
Strawberry, she said, is perennial.
Oh my goodness. All of this here. So how do you water this site? hydrant?
Oh, I just finished turning on the, we have plenty of hoses that come here. We have like 4 or 5 hoses on one. Pardon me?
Everything is blooming.
Yes, we've been in here since March, back and forth. This is some kalaloo that someone gave me from their yard. So the soil is kind of weak, you know. We're going to give it beautiful soil when we
What
plant.
is this? Kalaloo, Jamaican
The
kalaloo.
amaranth.
You know, I wanted to ask something.
Sure.
For these public gardens that was converted from houses, do you keep the the water supply and the electricity, or they just go?
No, that's a
That's an empty lot, no electricity.
But
no
yeah,
water.
You can talk on that?
I want to make sure, remember we have translators. So that's a very good question, because often I get gardeners that say, well, why can't you just reconnect the pipes? Because after all, again, all of these places where you had gorgeous homes on them. Well, the answer is all of that is gone. So that infrastructure, unfortunately, has to be completely rebuilt. That's certainly part
Honestly,
of
it's
the
a
reason.
shame that
Yeah,
from the
so-
beginning they don't recognize that there is water, and maybe to cut it off at the street there.
Well, so no, that's
They recognize.
yeah.
They
No, that
know it, and it's not
no,
gone. It's
no,
they make it dormant.
and that brings up a very good point. Someone said, well, why didn't they think about that? I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning. Some of you didn't hear it. These gardens, they weren't this is not here as a result of years of study and research and bringing the community in. These were empty spaces, and the city basically was doing nothing with them until the folks in the neighborhood started to use them, and then the city caught on to it.
Guerrilla gardeners.
Etc. So no, there was no. So again, you look at the map of Green Thumb Gardens, and you say, why are there so many here, none in there, somebody there? It's because of the history. It wasn't planned. I call it helter-skelter, like a scattering. But there was a very specific reason that East New York had so many gardens.
right. Talk
It's
on
not,
it. Talk
it's
on it.
not a good story. It's called redlining.
right.
It's called racial discrimination. It's called landlords just giving up and leaving and not paying their taxes. So again, I want to emphasize the positive nature of what Laita and her gardeners are doing in this space, but it's always good to know where we come from, right? So Laita, how many members do you have? And if someone was
5.
interested,
I have 5 members. I need more.
what should they do?
Call
Contact
me.
you?
Yeah.
So
Where do they call you?
at the end of the tour,
917-202-6651.
At the
Again, 917-202-6651. And my name is Miss Laita Herb, Herb, and I'm an herbalist.
That's
I think, is that Laita? Is that why you're an herbalist? Because of
Yes,
your
I
last
was
name?
born as an herbalist. The
There you
Lord
go.
gave me the name Herb so I
It's
could do the work.
amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I've studied. 917-202-6651. My name is spelled Lyet as in tall A, Herb, Herb as in boy.
And don't worry, we will provide everyone, if you signed up and gave us your email address or phone number in this day of texting, we'll get you this information, promise. Also, keep in mind that your bag has the contact information for moi, me, that's French, moi, and Mahira and our, Oliver. So we're good to go. So Laita very nicely asked if anybody wanted any herbs. If you do, this is the time to do it because we're going to walk down to the next garden. So does that raise your hand if you want herbs? So you talk too much.
I know.
You're talking too much.
Yes, I have a lot of news.
I know, but this is not the time to do it. Laita, we take up a time frame. Laita, we have somebody here that would like herbs. I know I'm being
It's the
mean.
same thing I'm asking her.
Good, good.
The witch hazel.
All right, let's get those herbs and we'll mix. Yes, oh yes, please.
Oh, kidding. No, I'm kidding. It is a present for you.
What kind of herbs would
But
you
it
like?
is some tools. Let me
Thank you. He's asking you what herb you use.
Use those now.
I know. I'm like, I can use these.
Don't want to.
Yeah, what is it? Yes, we got some.
Oh my God, it's like
Right there.
it's like Christmas come early.
So much. Thank you. Thank you.
I like this. This is nice. The pouch, yeah, stylish.
Looks official.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
These
much for
work very
inviting
well.
us.
All right.
Hi there, Annette's back. So tell me in the comments, what neighborhood do you live in? Are there any community gardens in your neighborhood? Please put it in the comments. Speak with you soon.
Want to go in?
This is Ashford, you said?
Ashford Learning.
Ashford Learning Garden.
Ashford Learning.
Hello, hello.
All right, you do it
Hello,
all.
how are you?
Hello. Today we are in another garden that was HPD and was converted to a garden. And this is the, you're getting used to these pictures.
I'm in charge of the garden. That's a catalpa.
So,
Let him finish first.
yeah, I'm like one voice. Can't believe I'm being so strict, right? I just want everyone to hear and understand and your questions answered. So this is the picture and you're getting used to this, I'm sure. I'm gonna pass it first to Nada. This is what this looked like in 1940. And if you turn it over, what it looked like in 1980. And what you're gonna see again, it was a mess in 1980. And this particular garden, I'm not sure if when it was in HPD, were you here when it was HPD? No. So this stayed an ugly space until very good people, including Nada, right here.
First it came through Cypress Hills and a lot of people, Green Thumb, it was the new NYC, where they come
And PRP,
in
Trust.
and Restoration,
New York Restoration
Project.
there was a lot of people involved in putting this garden together.
Yeah.
And then for a while somebody else had it, and then it was given for me to take charge because the people that were taking care of it, it was hard. It's very hard for everybody because everybody wants to garden when things are coming up so that they can harvest. But when it's time to clean and put the stuff together,
So let's properly introduce Nada. She is the garden leader here, and you've already started on what the garden. About how many members do you have here at the garden?
it's supposed to be about 10. Right now we have 1, 2, let's see other people. We got about 4 people and my daughter who's coming from work because she was working. And there's the Girl Scouts went camping this morning, so there was 3 people there. So it's like 8. My tenant just had knee surgery, so that's 9. And the other one had to work too.
So the members that are here, could you raise your hand? All right, members, raise your hand. All right, well, thank you all. So what kind of plants do you grow here?
Well, we got a little bit of everything. At the door, when you came in, you see my little tiny little roses. Come, because I'm so proud of them. Vengan hacia acá los que hablan en español. And English, please come this way so you can see my beautiful roses. It's there. You see how pretty? And they come back. Every year they come back. Look how pretty. And this is supposed to be red, but I think because of the sun and the heat, they have lost their color. Now they're coming like that. Eran rojas, pero con el sol parece que le ha quitado el color. Y miren las otras, la vergüenza, porque todos nosotros hispanos tenemos que tener vergüenza. All our Hispanics, we have to have some shame. In this plant, we call it vergüenza.
¿Cuál ustedes le llaman vergüenza?
Pero estaba esperando y no me hace. Y yo estaba también enferma. She had been here before, and look at all these ones. These are perennials. This one I take home. I bought all these plants and I bring them here. Most of the stuff I steal it from my house garden and I bring it here. Casi todas me las robo del jardín de la casa y las traigo para acá. Y the ones that can't survive the winter time, I take them home and then bring them back. Las que no sobreviven el invierno me las llevo a la casa. Pero todas estas, y todavía necesito sembrar más. I still have to plant more stuff.
She's an interpreter, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's why you were talking the whole time.
Okay.
She's
But it's great because now we get it on video
what are
too.
some of the nationalities actually in the garden right now?
Well, right now, we used to have different people. We had Indians from Bangladesh, and the issue is that I expect people to do work. And that's where the issue starts. Most people don't want to do work. But those that do, they keep coming back. And so mostly we have Latin and Afro-Americans at the present time.
Now, one of the
And
things
this work.
I wanted to highlight is you see this structure here. You saw this structure also at Ashford Abundant. This is the kind of this is what happens when Green Thumb gets some funding, just a little bit of the pitch without being too much of an advocate. So it provides shade for the garden. But look at all the beautiful. Look how this garden has like made it their own with children. I want to highlight something right now, and I forgot it because and that is that this young lady had the most events of any Green Thumb garden in this area last year. I can't believe the number. And I got a beautiful certificate for you. I will get it to you, my dear, but I wanted everyone to sort of praise.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Because that's the whole point, right? To bring people in. And yes, they need, if they want to be a member, she's a tough taskmaster. But I want to give you a secret. Every garden that looks really good is because there is somebody in charge that, is very strict. And I sometimes get pushback from people. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I say, well, do you know what it takes to manage these spaces?
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
And I'm
So,
70 years old. 7.
No
Go, mommy.
way.
Go.
Yes. So it's like, I wish that I could bring the young people in, but it's hard getting the people in. Like my daughter's a teacher. She's supposed to be here right now. She got me last year a whole bunch of kids, and they wanted to come this year, but because of the funding, they were not able to get buses to bring them in. So I had about 120 kids that were supposed to come, and they couldn't make it because there was no buses. But once the kids get involved, forget it, they want to do it because it's nothing like growing your own stuff. I started growing stuff when I was a little girl, like about 4 or 5 years old. My grandmother gave me some beans. And I was really proud because I planted those beans in Puerto Rico. And when they came up, those beans made it to the plate. And I was like, I felt so proud of myself because I had contributed towards the food at the table. And, that makes a child proud to be able to bring something into the table.
Should we just walk into the garden a little bit?
And we had bingo last weekend. You should have been here. We had such a great time. I haven't posted the pictures yet, but everybody loved it. I had culantro here. Benny shadow, for those that don't know it in Spanish, it's like, they call it Mexican cilantro, but Puerto Ricans use it en unos cubos para que puedan crecer.
We have translators, us English-speaking folks.
I'm sorry.
It's good when she does it though, because then I'm capturing it in the language here. So it's good.
That's what I do all day. English and Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed Spanish translator.
Could tell.
English and Spanish. So I'm always like English and Spanish at the same time. And I'm sorry. So I will not say it in Spanish anymore. But here we got different greens, and we still haven't planted everything. But we got kale. Everybody knows what kale looks like, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we got some, I don't have my glasses on, some oregano. There's two types of oregano. There's one with the white stuff, and there's this one. Este oregano brujo, we call it oregano brujo, which is usually something that we use to season the pork.
So is that a perennial or you have to plant it?
No, you have to plant it every year, but you could take it home, and it stays alive in the wintertime at home. And
As
then
a
you can
house
just bring it
plant.
back.
As a house plant, yeah.
It is a house
Yeah.
plant, yes. But back home, it's not a house plant.
I
We
know.
have it in the
It's-
yard.
it's tropical.
You're from the island too.
Tropical, yes.
And we got chives and onions. And over here, my favorite, we got cilantro, we got cabbages. Lo ve? Right here, we got the other oregano, which is the same, that's Cuban. Yeah, and collard greens. También, I put here
I like that one in my window.
I put the citronella to keep the citronella, and I put lemongrass to keep the aphids, the white little bugs. The bandit, the one with the white around.
The caterpillar?
No, that looks like a rat. Oh, yeah, raccoon. That's right. He comes and
Dice que trata de mantener algunos insectos fuera,
Thank you very much.
animales fuera
the
para
one with
que
the bandit.
Oh, that's a rat.
no se
They
lo
come
coman.
in here and they're eating all my
Para,
lettuce.
dice que todos
Says
se le están
thank you.
comiendo todas las lechugas. Sí, se le está comiendo todas las lechugas. Va a tener que cerrar.
Yeah. They said, thank you for providing. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's it.
High class restaurant, Michelin.
Oh, pero mira, que no les enseñé. I didn't show you the strawberries. Oh,
Yes.
come here and look at my strawberries. Look how beautiful they are. They come back every year. And what happened was I had the whole bed was full of it. But because we took them out and transplanted them, and I had people
to
help
shock.
me, they went to, because they didn't know how to transplant it.
Take too much dirt or afraid.
Yeah, the people
move
that
it
were
with the
helping.
dirt.
Yeah. So the ones that I have transplanted survived, the other ones didn't.
So now I see that there are bottles in there. That's to keep the
They
strawberry.
tried it off the ground.
Off the ground. So there's a purpose for these bottles, is to keep the strawberries from getting mildew and stuff. You could also put bamboo under there. Bamboo you could also use.
Which could you like take the seeds off and then plant it? Or?
No, they said you have to take the run of the vine.
Oh, okay.
And then Ina said put it just right back in the dirt. I don't know what this thing
Watermelon,
is
which I'm
doing.
going to be putting against the fence. See it? It's right
Are
here.
those from seeds?
No, those I did not, because I didn't have a greenhouse. I just got the greenhouse not too long ago. Yeah, and I was able to do that. But look at my crazy.
Oh, potatoes, yes.
Yes, look at my potatoes. And look at my celery. Look at my celery.
Yeah.
Como se dice celery?
Apio.
This one is the celery?
Yes, that's the celery.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be taking all those plants out because I'm gonna.
And which ones are the potatoes? Here in these bags?
This is a potato?
Mulberry. It's invasive. The story about mulberry. 1929, when it was a prohibition. So this was a liquor. Mulberry.
Mulberry. This is called mulberry.
So it took the place of liquor because you could mull it.
And
So when we got our garden, that's all
if
came
they
with
put
the
out
garden.
a net
Girl, we
and
went
collect
to
them, it's sweet and
town.
delicious.
And then after we
But for a
got
lot
the
of people,
kill it. We had to get rid of the nest. And we have the white.
last chance for mulberry. Yeah, mulberries are great. Last chance for mulberry. And then we're gonna.
I got only
Tacos at the market, and I said, I don't have patience for sitting down and selling anything. You want to come through? And they sell all out here. I'll let you know.
That's great. Love hearing about things like that with gardens selling their produce.
Not mine. My son's still working my garden. My son will stay with these.
The councilman is doing that. And now I am going to switch it over to the wisdom of my hero.
all right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for the food.
Yes,
Thank you for the
thank
water.
you. Ashford Learning Garden, right? Ashford Learning Garden.
Ashford Learning.
Ashford Learning. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your space. We learned a lot, and I'll talk about it more on our tour. We learned a lot about the inner, what goes into making a community garden possible, the inner economics, the collaborative economics that also need to be discussed and talked about. And so we can talk about that a little more on our walk. But this is good, as Bill mentioned, our longest stretch of walking. We're gonna be walking about 10 minutes, I would say.
About.
Yeah. Down Glenmore?
Yeah, we can Glenmore and then turn.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back down to the right towards Glenmore and then turn. Thank you so much.
Okay. Breeze.
There's a breeze, it's nice. I really was worried we were gonna be like, oh, thanks. You can put that in there.
It's just the it's just the sun. When the sun is out, it's hot. When the sun is when the cloud rolls over, it's cool. So it's gonna get hot again.
Terrible.
It's possible.
We're gonna be going down the hall, and I said I was gonna shut up, but I lied. It happens. I'll give you a little bit of info about this last garden called Paradise. It's very interesting. And I think we got a couple of people. We'll just wait for them. Just a little bit of a promo. It's really fascinating. I talked about the Green Mile. This is the last large garden before we get to Green Gems, which is, of course, where we're going to end up. Paradise Community Garden was actually founded by, of course, neighborhood folks. One of the founders actually lived right there. He cashed out and went down to Florida. But it also was a collaboration, and still is, between a PS4, which is it's a school for special needs children. So for decades, this has been a place where children on the various spectrum are here, and they have an opportunity to touch and feel green things, which because depending on their autism, they if you know anything about autism, it breaking out and feeling things that are living and growing is very special, and this garden provides that. There are the teachers that come here with them, of course, and the aides, and so working with the community, this garden really provides, I think, an amazing resource. There's one other actually small garden, a much smaller garden in East New York that does the same thing. This is generally smaller children below high school, but the other garden is utilized by high school level special ed kids. So it's one of the things that I really love about community gardens. So with that, I really do mean it. It's now turning it over to Mahira for the rest of the journey.
Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be the longest walk we're taking, about 10 minutes. We're gonna make it right here. We might pass, we're gonna pass pockets of community gardens along the way. We might not pass them on the way, but on these blocks there are multiple gardens working together or working separately to make East New York green. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I know. No, you're good. We'll keep on walking, but I did want to highlight some gardening practices that are really important in maintaining a community garden. We learned about the share table, which is super important in just having a garden operate like sufficiently. Oh, you didn't sign it. Right. We can sign it at the next one, so we don't have to stop. And so some gardens will also, they will charge member dues. So there are certain ways that gardens learn how to be sufficient. Some gardens do charge like yearly membership dues. Through Green Thumb, we emphasize that there has to be either a tier or like different ways of membership if someone can't afford that membership due. So they can still be a part of the garden. Maybe they don't get their own pot or box. Oh, and then here we have a beautiful internal water system.
One of the few.
Yeah.
What is that, well water?
No, it's
Is it
from
well?
it's from the hydrant.
Oh, it is from the hydrant.
But they pull out all the plumbing.
Yeah, and so the process for building an internal water system, as we mentioned, takes years. Our colleague did walk us through it a few weeks ago, and it's confusing for myself as well.
Yeah.
So they do go underground. It's sometimes not ideal for gardeners because their garden gets messed up and like all ripped up, and so it is a process that takes time. It's not easy to make happen, but really adds to the vitality of a garden.
Why would it get waterlogged? If they don't use the water, it shouldn't get waterlogged.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. We want to make sure that the gardens are actually using the water that they have. But different gardens have different practices, so
Yeah,
it's
so
hard
I
to
mean,
ensure.
all you have to convince.
Geez. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Just asked about the water.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's okay. You can't kill it. I have them all over my backyard.
I want to go on it, but I know what everything about it.
Thank you. I mean, you're a master gardener too. Put your heads together.
As we're walking down this heat, I want to talk about something called the Urban Heat Island Index. So because we live in an urban environment, because we live in between all these buildings and not enough trees, we feel the feels hotter for us. It creates an atmosphere of lightness. It makes it the temperature rise, and so that's another reason why urban gardens are so important. They cool down neighborhoods. Bringing green into spaces helps bring down the overall temperature of neighborhoods. And that's why you'll feel like if you're walking on this street, it feels a lot cooler than if you're walking on a street with less trees.
For protecting to not cut the trees, big trees in the neighborhood.
Well,
I want to write
usually trees are cut if it's a danger or if it's dead. Like, you don't really cut trees that unless there's something wrong with it. Yeah. So.
But in you, I think
This is Kaolu right here, right?
Oh, okay.
That's poke salad. That's one? No, you can eat that.
Oh, scrub it good. There might be some dog urine.
The dog get up that high.
so many theaters, bars, and this one, everything. So when there was one tree, people cutting down, this is life.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, that's another part. Yes, it's so cross, sorry. I'm just making sure everyone gets across.
That's the dog poop.
Yeah! There's lots of resources to tap into. Yeah. I know a lot of books that you can look through. So as for what you were saying about, people buying a house and it's free, I think that comes with like education, teaching people that the land that they have now that they own, they should actually be prioritizing things for the environment as well. It's not right.
This is just a small section of each,
Yeah.
but they are not thinking about okay.
Right.
So environmental.
And I think it's because people feel disconnected to the environment around them.
Only the easy recycle
But yeah, what they don't realize is that what actually gives them actual happiness is being connected to the world around them, nature, having trees. Exactly, and that's exactly. I'm a Mushina, I'm a Monopori, I'm a Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm glad you feel that way because I think that a lot of people need to learn how to like understand that. So many people are religious, but they don't, care about the world around them.
Look how beautiful that building is.
I was gonna say this is a beautiful building, beautiful garden. East New York has a really high concentration of home gardeners as well. And through some of our partners like East New York Youth Farms, they actually provide resources for home gardeners in this area. So there are lots of resources even if you are just gardening privately, like Department of Sanitation. You can get mulch and compost. And so there's different city resources that you can tap into to grow your own food at home as well. I was actually gonna stop at this Yeah, I mean, I call it gentrification gray.
Yeah. So they just hurry up and
Exactly.
some of them are stop loading, not even brick.
Yeah. Yeah, an unfortunate reality is that these neighborhoods are ever changing. There is constantly new people coming into the neighborhood that displaced people that are currently living here. It also, one thing that I learned in terms of housing, once people come into an area and their income is different, it then reflects in the rent. Even in these units, they're supposed to have, I think, usually about 20% of units are supposed to be affordable housing, but the actual income that you need to make to qualify for these units don't reflect on the income in the neighborhood. It reflects on like the newcomers or people in surrounding neighborhoods. And so it's really a big issue that these neighborhoods are facing, gentrification. And I think some neighborhoods like Bed-Stuy are tackling it well, where a lot of people, newcomers to the neighborhood, are actually a part of community gardens and trying to be a part of, you know, creating good change for the neighborhood. But there can be tension in that as well, in terms of garden leaders maybe feeling reluctant to let them into the space for good reason. People that might, you know, have different ideas of how they want to operate and, you know, not paying respect to the neighborhoods they're in.
They want to take over.
Right, exactly.
That's the problem.
Yep. And so it's an ongoing issue because we want to make and create new space for community members in our gardens, but we also want to make sure we're preserving and honoring the history of these spaces.
Honoring the history.
All right, we are almost at our next stop. We're gonna make a left over on Montauk. Yeah. Wait.
So if you went right, I know I'm breaking my promise again. I lied. Just so you know, most of the blocks we went by has several gardens on it. Montauk, no different.
Yeah.
We're about to go to one, but there are 3 down that way. 3.
All right, we're gonna pause. Hi, how are you? We're having a garden walking tour. And you'll see, Bill knows everyone that you see here. Yeah? You can go on this side of the street. they're such a vital aspect of our communities. They can really promote longevity of health, mental health, physical, emotional.
Hi, can I give a speech?
Give a speech? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, those are buying the new house, kindly don't cut off the trees because lots of life is there in the tree. Not only the birds, creatures, as well as there's lots of worms life. This makes and it's not good for the environment. Very oftenly I saw when people buy the new house, they cut off the trees because they just want to give a psychological satisfaction. I bought a new house, not old one, just a very small satisfaction, which is giving your mind a psychological effect, but it's not true. You can make it. I saw lots of old trees people cut off. And once I felt very bad. I experienced my neighborhood. They cut 3 trees. So this is injustice with the creature environment. So and it's create a big mess on the environment and it's not good for our health also. Thank you. No, I saw these kids.
Bless you.
So we have one of our garden members here, Damaris. You guys are actually gonna see firsthand the issue that we have sometimes of garden access. Damaris doesn't have the code. I forgot to give it to them. So that's an issue that we sometimes have in community gardens. We need someone to open up the space to let people in. We will do that right now. Let's walk over.
You see how we here took a challenge into an opportunity. These are group spaces, and the groups make the rules. What we at Green Thumb try to do is make sure the rules are fair. Look at the beautiful roses. This is Shield of Faith.
Oh, Shield of Faith. Yeah, I've been here. This was on the tour last.
Yes,
last
it was.
Tour, yes.
Yes, it was.
I'm Chris.
Yes, this is where Chris met us.
We have Damaris here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but as I was mentioning, there's
you
some.
one of the stewards here?
Sorry.
Stay tuned. We're about 3/4 of the way through our 5-garden East New York tour, and we'll be heading on in just a second.
This is Shield of Faith Garden. I'm going to pass around some pictures in a second, but I just want to introduce this space to you all. Damaris is a member right next door. There is a church. Damaris is a member of that church who actually reached out to me, the community engagement coordinator, to learn more about how we can beautify the space, make it more open and welcoming to the community. And that's part of why we're featuring it here on our garden tour today. We want people in the community to know that this space is here, that we are hoping to have some more programming, some more activities for the whole family here, and that, yeah, you're welcome and you're welcome to use the space. This garden in particular was opened in 2002. I'm gonna pass around some pictures. So interestingly enough, the darker pictures are the 80s.
I like to think there's something about that. The ugly ones are dark. The beautiful ones are clear and black and white. Yeah, that's what it was.
So that's what it was in the 1940s.
Was there a church in Past Street, hence the name Shield of Faith?
So this building right next to us is a church. Pastor Rosa is the pastor at the church. Damaris is a member. They were operating fully up until like last year when they started renovation on the space. And since they started renovation, it's been a little different in terms of access. One big problem that we're facing right now, we would get water from the church for the garden, and now we don't have access to that water anymore. So we would obviously be able to use the hydrant over there, but it's messed up, which I found out yesterday. So that's an ongoing, challenge of being a gardener, of being an engagement coordinator, learning these challenges and just kind of learning how to work with them. We're, again, very well underway. It's June, so you can see in most of these beds, things have been planted already. Actually, in 2 weeks, we're having a volunteer event here to just clean up, work on some bigger projects. As I mentioned, Pastor Rosa is one of the lead contacts for this garden, and her husband and her work very hard in this garden, but they are on the elderly side, so it's really helpful to have youth and just other excited community members in the space. So we need more people to show up. So actually in your tote bags that I gave out today, the first page is our volunteer day event that's going to happen at this garden. If you guys aren't able to come, that's okay. Sure, in soil in that bed from season to season. But as Bill was mentioning, and someone answered over here, and you saw it today at the East New York Gardens, we're mostly growing food in these beds. And so the food that we're eating, we want to make sure it's healthy, that it's safe for us to eat. And unfortunately, New York City soil, due to so much excavation, building, construction, it's not safe. There actually is a free, if you guys are a part of a garden, a free community soil testing program for gardens. So you can test your soil, see the health of it. But through Green Thumb, we're able to provide you with soil. There are also many other resources. Obviously, some gardeners will just resort to like Home Depot if they're in a pinch. But we are able to provide soil and other resources so that you have safe, healthy soil to grow food in.
I have to compliment this garden. First of all, notice the lawn is cut.
Yeah.
And somebody has to do that.
Right.
But this is like this. A lot of the gardens use wood chips. Actually, it's interesting. At Ashford Abundant, you probably saw more wood chips there than anywhere. Has always been the traditional thing to do. But wood chips, of course, wear out. You have to bring more. It has to be spread. From my point of view, but wait till you see green gems. In my point of view, this is much more attractive, and also in the end, you cut it, and if you want, what do you do with the cuttings? You either let it just last, or you put it in a pile and compost it, right? Yes. So a lot less energy, I think, is expended, frankly, but every garden makes that decision.
Right.
So, and we provide it to them at no cost.
Yeah. Also, I think grass is a little bit more accessible, especially for like elderly gardeners.
It's easy to walk.
Yeah. A lot of our gardeners do have like mobile assistant tools that they use, so it is important. You'll see in some gardens we actually built them an ADA accessible pathway. That's usually through external funding from the city council budget, from other capital project funding. So it's not unfortunately available for every garden, but it is something that we are able to support with, especially for those gardeners that really need that support. And we try to make sure that, like, for example, the garden beds, that they do have adequate space in between them so that it is accessible, it's easy, comfortable for people to be in here. But some gardens, as you saw, are working with a lot less space than this. So they have to be a little creative. Some, want to maximize food production. So maybe space and comfortability is compromised. Yeah. So I think one of our, I don't know if she's coming. I'm going to give her a call. One of our community gardeners did want to come, so I'm going to make sure.
No, for now, like we talked about it yesterday with you, and then, yeah, I think we'll have the, what is the name? Volunteer day on the 20th, so you are welcome to join us, and we're going to have like some things to do with the kids too. We're going to try to bring the kids from church and from the neighborhood. So
What time is that at?
It's going to be
What
from
time?
10 a.m. to 1
from
p.m.
10 to 1 on the 20th. So we are trying to attract more people to the garden.
Yeah. Part of a community garden isn't just having people in the space gardening. It's also about having people like Damaris, who's an advocate, someone that's good at bringing people together, someone that's good at organizing. We really love like people that can help with social media, because that's always a plus, especially in attracting new members in the space. So there's always a role for everyone to play. And you know, a lot of people are like, I don't have a green thumb, I don't know if I can be helpful for a community garden. You are still helpful with, you know, your unique experiences and also what you're willing to offer and learn. I think one of the most unique things about community gardens is that, especially like in a time of life when maybe people don't have as much opportunity to learn, they are always a space to work together, to collaborate, to get new skills. Yeah, so just a really like you know, valuable asset for our space. Ooh, we have our she's trying on the shirt. They're all a large. I have one for you.
Yeah, I like it. It's my shape.
Yeah. So you guys are welcome to play with it, cut it. Yeah. I'm gonna just give her a call real quick. Our tour is almost coming to a close. So
And the quality.
Yeah.
We're quote unquote only 15 minutes behind, which in my book is pretty good.
yeah.
The rest is appreciated.
Right, exactly. That's why I was like, I don't want to, we had a long walk.
Across the street is a very interesting structure. In my head, it was from World War II and it housed soldiers. That's what I think.
That's a loft.
Yeah.
Like a loft, a whole loft.
And
You have the address, you can look it up.
now it's a question of it has to all be renovated, and it looks like there's some work. You got Atlantic Avenue down there.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the other one. They pushed all the people out.
Super important. Yeah, super important. Just to make sure. Yeah. And then Bill wants us to present our gardener with some tools, some fun activity. Yeah. And I have a.
Thanks for being here.
আমি বাংলাদেশ শুধু যে যাদের বাগান করতে ইচ্ছা কমিউনিটি গার্ডেন ইউজ করার জন্য গাছ লাগাইটা এখানেও সব
Yeah, exactly.
Work together with Bill and go down to the fire station.
Hello, আসেন আমাদের কমিউনিটি গার্ডেনে আপনারা আসতে পারেন, বাগান করতে পারেন, মানুষদের সাথে দেখা করতে পারেন। আমরা এখানে একটা জায়গা আছে, আমরা শরীর ভালো রাখতে পারি আর মাথাও ভালো রাখতে পারি।
হ্যালো আমাদের বাংলাদেশের সবাইকে আর কি বলছি, যাদের বাগান করার ইচ্ছা আছে বা নিজের জায়গা নাই, তারা কমিউনিটির এই গার্ডেনগুলো ইউজ করতে পারেন। এটা গভর্নমেন্ট থেকে মানে বিভিন্ন সুযোগ সুবিধা দেওয়া হচ্ছে, প্লান্ট সহ এভরিথিং না, লাইক অল কাইন্ড অফ রিসোর্সেস দেওয়া হচ্ছে। তারপরে নিজের বাগানের মানে অনেকে বাগান করার জন্য গাছ কাটেন, এইগুলো না করে এইসব বড় বড় পার্কের যে স্পেসগুলো গভর্নমেন্টের সেইগুলো ইউজ করতে পারেন। এটা আমাদের এনভায়রনমেন্টকে প্রোটেক্ট করবে। আর যেটা বলছিল যে নেটিভ 70%, দ্যাট মিনস লাইক হুইচ ইজ গুড ফর দ্য নিউ ইয়র্ক। হ্যাঁ, তো লাইক আমেরিকান আমরা সাধারণত সাপোজ আমি বাঙালি, আমরা বাংলাদেশের জিনিসগুলো ইউজ করি, বাট উই ক্যান লাইক এনভায়রনমেন্টকে ঠিক রাখার জন্য মানে 70% জিনিসগুলো আপনার এই দেশেরই রোপণ করা উচিত আর কি। এটা বলছিলাম না, তো এইটা আর কি। কারণ আমাদের মানে সবসময় কোলাবোরেশনটা দরকার আছে প্রত্যেকটা জিনিসে। এখানে আপনি যেমন চাইনিজ, আমি দেখেছি চাইনিজ প্ল্যান্টগুলো খুবই সুন্দর হয়, যেমন করলা আর কি খুবই টেস্টি আমি আমার নেইবারহুডে দেখছি। তো আমরা কোলাবোরেটলি করতে পারি, শুধু যে নিজের স্পেসটা, অনেকে আমাদের মানে শখের জন্য দেখবেন যে বাড়ির আশপাশ পরে নোংরা হয়ে থাকে, ক্লিন করেন না কিন্তু মানে ইয়ের সিজনের পরে, আর গাছও কাটেন, গাছগুলা কাটবেন না। এরকম অনেক মানে ওপেন স্পেস আছে নিউ ইয়র্কে, যেটা আপনি আপনার শখ পূরণ করতে পারেন, আপনার কমিউনিকেশন মানুষের সাথে, মানে এই জিনিসগুলো আপনি এনজয় করতে পারেন বড় আকারে। ধন্যবাদ।
It's not one building, it's a series of buildings.
It's a whole
It's
block.
like a whole-
yes,
yeah.
yeah. It's over some
Yeah.
industrial building at some point. Residential?
Yes, when you look from, you travel, I don't know if you travel, but if you travel, that's Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had it on your
You see
phone.
those houses, those people
I would
used
have
to
done
live
it in
there.
the shade.
So this is the building you're talking about? People used to live
Yes,
in?
people,
and
yes, people live
What
here.
was the name of
I don't know what the name is, but it's a
So we're on Montauk. This is across from 88 Montauk. We got Atlantic
Atlantic, it's on Montauk, it's over here, and it's in the next block.
up at the corner.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining our tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. Really, really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. Yeah. But yeah, every Sunday, a community member, she started a children's gardening program. So,
Because one of my kids likes it.
oh, nice. Okay. Okay, okay. No, that's fine. Okay, okay. I'm not showing you first.
What a nice
But
breeze.
yeah, so we have that program, but also like we want community members to know, like she was just like someone that was excited about seeing the space, and she was like, I don't want to see my kids in my garden. I want to just be able to garden right here. And she started it, and now like kids started like really good. Yeah.
Where we lost all the people.
Hold on. You hear her? Wait.
Oh, okay.
Bless you.
you've been here before? Oh, yeah. Hello, all, and welcome to our final stop.
Ah, they're right there, the chickens.
Thank you. Yes, welcome to Green Gems, our last stop on our tour.
One pocket is open. Might be anything can fall.
This was private space, which finally we purchased in an ungodly long time, and now it's cleaned up.
Wow, this is huge.
So this is the whole Episcopal.
Yes.
Here from Cornell.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah. I you know, yeah. So I work at the garden now. So feel free to I'm supporting. Yeah, we're having a walking tour today. We're inviting people to come on.
Allá. They have bunnies.
Bunnies
Termina el
too?
camino ese que pasa ahí para la hierba.
Work of maintaining this garden, being in this space. I'm gonna pass around some pictures of what this space used to look like. You can also, as we walk along this wall, you'll see a lot of old pictures. I love how Mr. James preserves this history in this space to really show that it's an intentional effort into stewarding and creating these community gardens. So I'm gonna pass these around. You guys can look at it. And can I pass it to you, Mr. James, to talk about your garden?
Look at these.
These are from Green Thumb. So I think when Green Thumb.
Oh, so these are in our files are full of old Polaroids of that were taken by staff way back.
And then this is from the 1940s, our tax records that show the building that used to.
That used to be here?
Yep.
Can you give me this already?
Yeah.
I got
Well,
that
this is the gorgeous site. Yes, everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
So, now you know why I put it on
look
the
like
tour.
hell.
It was on the bike.
Crazy.
And then you'll see on the back of one of them is like 80.
It's like the 70s.
So this is like 3 lots, right?
95, I guess.
Oh yeah, this is
Like
I
3
think
lots.
I think it's more than
Many lots.
Yeah, this is
There's 8 lots.
8 lots.
lots, yeah. So
There's
It's like a huge building. Wow.
6 this way, and I think, alright, there's 8. There's gotta be, I think there's only 3 over there. So there's 5 this way.
oh okay.
Yeah, it's 5. From the fence to the wall.
This is just a series
But
of
it
brick
takes
buildings
the
that
whole-
burned down over time.
Yeah, this is, this is before I moved up here. I'm in the yard 40 years, but I'm up in this area, I would say 43, 45. I came up here in the 90s, early 90s. No one wanted to be here. And if you notice, pictures on the wall speaks for themselves. There was absolutely not a single house on that side of the street that you see now. Not one. See the gray house there?
Yeah,
That was the only house over there. And on this side of the street, there was only one house, which is the one on the opposite side of this first one. Those were the only 2 houses, one on each side, neither one livable. There was a 3rd house where this house is at, and we was having a barbecue out here on 4th of July, and the kids ran to me and said, "Oh, Mr. James, there's a fire across the street." And we look up, and that house was on fire. And you know what's so funny about that fire? They just put that house together. And somebody came in and decided to burn it down while we were in here playing with the kids and everything. Because this yard was addressed by my children, which is the same kids on the wall there. And there was 32 of them. So I had to make sure there was plenty water, juice, Frank's, hamburgers, hot dogs. And then as they got older, now you got to come in with shovels, rakes, and there was a lot of donations for a lot of from the neighbors, because most of these kids were their kids. They didn't have time for them, so they figured, well, we give Mr. James some rakes and shovels. We good, we got a babysitter. But it worked out. It worked out. It was nice. So what you see here is, yes, it was a lot of work. A lot of work, really, because I was still working at the time. And when I retired, it made it easy for me to really get in here and spend some quality time in here and make it look nice for the block. Even though, you know, half the time people don't appreciate it because they always have a problem with this and a problem with that. But I pays it no mind. So when I clean from this corner to halfway the block. When I clean, I don't just clean inside. I clean all the way around. And when when I have a function going on, weekends come, I don't like this filthy around here. I really don't.
Neighborhood pride, thank you.
That's
I
right.
don't like that. That turns me off. And I really want these pots off the side. They gotta go. Really.
Who put them there? Green Thumb?
Green Thumb put them there.
Oh, they're plastic.
They gotta go.
No, you got them.
No, Green Thumb brought them here and put them on the sidewalk. I asked for them because they were sitting there for 5 years. And I said, what y'all gonna do with those pots?
So you're blaming them
Doing well, though.
Yeah, I gotta blame it on you. I'm sorry, but so I gotta blame it on somebody. I ain't taking the blame. But yes, they have to go, and they have to go for the simple fact they're using them for garbage cans.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
yes.
They're
Yeah.
using them for garbage can, and every time I put flowers, and I come the next day, they're gone.
Oh.
Yes, and I pretty much had enough. I don't want to get violent out here because sometimes people tell you not to this or not to that, but you get tired of you trying to build up a community, and then you have people that live right here in the community destroying it. They don't care. We also have problems with the dogs. So I'm gonna tell you what I did. I took white lime.
Yes. But
Okay.
This is what this place used to look like before they cleaned it up and made a community garden.